What's going on, family? Entertainer, motivator, educator, Lucky Murray, back with another Blue Hose recap. The Blue Hose just lost to the Valparaiso Beacons, 65-55. Watch the whole game and give you my recap on this. But before I go any further, here's what I need you to do. One of three things. One, like the video if you like sports in general. Try to cover Blue Hose. My team is the South Carolina Gamecocks. We play later on tonight. Or also notification bell, like know every time I drop a video. And three, share the video, helps out a ton. So let's get into this, man. So watch this game, man. It was high scoring. The stats really did not match up to what was actually happening, and I'm going to give you that information in a few minutes. So basically, the stats were crazy. I'm gonna just give you a few stats, and guys, these are pictures from the game. I'm not legally allowed to show highlights of the game. Some people can, but they cannot monetize the video. So what I do was I took the snapshots of the game, as you see in the background. But we're gonna keep going forward, man. Here's the total team stats before I break down the scoring drives. PC total yards outgained the Vows about the Beacons. PC had 596 yards total passing yards. That was crazy. The Beacons had 426 yards passing. Presbyterian had 3 turnovers, and that was all in the third quarter, which killed them a lot. Time of possession, which was equal. PC had 31 minutes of possession, while the Beacons, the Valparaiso, had 28 minutes per game. First down, Presbyterian killed them with first down, 31 but 17. But when you look at this offense, man, if you do not give the offense, if the offense does not give the defense a chance to kind of breathe a little bit, they put their defense in a crazy situation. In the first quarter, the running back, Washington, I believe, both running backs, but Washington, I think the other ones for Valpo had Washington had 3 touchdowns on only 11 yards rushing. It was crazy. So I'm going to go with the individual stats, but I'm going to break down what happened. Scoring drives, right? First quarter, Heffley had a crazy run, a 49-yard run for a touchdown, and then they scored a 2-point conversion. So PC was up 8-0. The play was crazy. He broke containment, and he's not the most speedy quarterback, Heffley, number 12 for PC, but he got the job done. But Valpo came back. The running back had a 4-yard run for a touchdown, and then they PC forced a turnover down, and they actually punt. A lot of people think that Coach Kelly does not punt. He actually does. When you're in between your opponent's red zone, if you're in your own red zone, you have to punt the ball. You cannot go forward, turn the ball over, and the team has it. The teams nowadays don't even kick field goals on PC because they know that, look, the likelihood of them kicking a field goal, PC is not going to punt it. They're going to go for it anyway, so they'll take the chances. So, again, all right, the running back, okay, what was his name? I'm getting his name right here. His name is Nick O. That's what we're going to call him, Nick O. Nick O, let me get his number real quick before I go further. Nick O's number 20, okay. Nick had another touchdown for the Blue Hose, and then he had one again. All right, so he scored 3 touchdowns. So Nick was the one, number 20 was the one that had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter and didn't even run 11 yards. So, and then Washington, the back that had over, I think, 200 yards rushing, had a 61-yarder for a touchdown. So PC in the first quarter had 1 touchdown, and then the Beacons turned it on and scored 4 touchdowns. It was 28-8 before the first quarter ended. Second quarter, Heffley passed to A. Polson for 12 yards for a touchdown, right? But the extra point was blocked. And then Heffley passed it to J. Jones for 9 yards, so it's 22-28. And then Beacons, Valpo, kicked the field goal, which Heffley passed to J. Jones for 75 yards and the touchdowns. The 2-point conversion failed, so it was 28-31. And then R. Washington runs up a 2-yard touchdown. So he also has 2 touchdowns. The backup running back had 3. Washington had 2. Right? Third quarter, Valpo changed quarterbacks because it was close until Washington ran it in for a touchdown. There was a 3-point score in the second quarter. Third quarter, Jay Jackson ran for a 5-yard touchdown, and then Heffley passed to Jay Jones for 34 yards and touchdown. 2-point conversion failed. So it's 34-48. Fourth quarter, Washington runs 25 yards for a touchdown, and then Heffley passed to Jay Jones for 61 yards and touchdown. I think Jay Jones broke a PC record this game. Jay Jackson passed to C. Hibbler for 27 yards and a touchdown. That's a Valpo. Heffley passed to Jay Jones again for a 50-yard touchdown. So now the score 48-58. Heffley passed to Jalyn Witcher for a 27-yard touchdown. I think they recovered an onside kick, so it's 55-58. But then again, Nick, with his 4th touchdowns of the day, runs 4 touchdowns, and the score was 65-55. So let's look at the stats. Ren Heffley, he was 44 for 68, 544 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Those 3 interceptions came in the third quarter. So their quarterback, he had 504 yards. Their quarterbacks, both combined for Valpo, only had 128 yards and 1 passing touchdown. Heffley had 7 touchdowns, but the 3 interceptions hurt him. Rushing, right? This is what's killing PC right now. Heffley had a 24-yard in the touchdown, and Powell, the second, only had 19 yards. PC in total only had 52 yards rushing and a touchdown. But Robert Washington, 26 carries, 234 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nick O, I'm not going to say his last name, had 54 yards. But, guys, he had 4 touchdowns. That's the crazy thing. And Jameer Jackson had 10 yards and the touchdowns as well. So they total almost 300 yards on the ground. Receiving wise, Jalyn Jones, 6 receptions, 239 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then they had so many, they had like 6, 7 receivers. They had so many people touch the ball, but they had 2 other guys that scored touchdowns. But the Valpo, like I said before, Robert Washington, the running back, had 4 receptions, 48 yards. To say the least. So with PC, their problem is the fact that their whole offensive scheme is kind of crazy. You know, they don't believe in punting, but he punted. He legitimately punted. And the defense, man, these are going to be games these are going to be high scoring games, PC. But the thing is, you cannot throw 3 interceptions and expect to win games. I'm sorry. You had them within 3. Defense can't get a stop. Offensive can score points, but they pick and choose when they can score points. And Valpo does not seem like a very good team. They're only 3-3 in the conference. They was 2-6 coming into the ball game. So what is my expectation from PC? Listen, Coach Kelly has to recruit fast. And if he wants to play this style at Division I, and this is not even high-level Division I, but Division I, to say the least, I'm not taking nothing for Presbyterian. Those guys work hard. But if you're trying to run this type of offense where it's high-powered running, don't punt. Onside kick most of the time. if you put the opponent on their 40 or their 30, what you expect is going to happen? Teams are not going to kick field goals. They're going to take the chance, like, look, our defense can stop them. And even if we give them the ball, this is great. They're not going to move the ball anyway. PC puts themselves at a lot of 4th and longs, a lot of 3rd and longs, and they're really bad when it comes to 4th down conversions and 3rd down conversions. So PC, man, they are 0-6. They got a lot of work to do. They got 2 games left before the season ends. They got one next week. And then they got one in, and they probably gonna go 2-9 this year. So no punts, no kickoffs, only onsides. Coach Kelly, his first year at PC, being a high school coach. We're gonna see what happens. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Again, it's the entertainer, motivator, educator. Please don't forget all 3. Lucky Murray back with another Gamecocks. Blue Hose college football recap. Blue Hose lost the game, but hey, look. It's not the end of the world. Let me know what you think about the comment section below. But like always, it's the next time, people.